So I'm doing this reading for the new moon, and on this channel I refer to the new moon as the seed and the full moon as the harvest, because the new moon is generally a time when we sow seeds of intention for kind of like the next 6 months, and then by the full moon is when you start to see like the harvest of that new moon intention 6 months later. So it's in the same sign, right? If that makes sense. So now we're in the new moon of Gemini and should harvest around, it's kind of funny talking about it like that, but yeah, around November or December, depending on when the full moon in Gemini will be. So in the season of Sagittarius. So with this new moon, I'm getting the intention of love, whether it's self-love, self-care, loving connections with others, being celebrated, being recognized for your achievements, for your contributions, having good times with people. Good times in general, like no specificity about what that is exactly, but it feels like what we're coming out of is a feeling of lack. So sometimes this is like wow, I just saw the cards underneath it. Sometimes this is like a poverty card, but it doesn't necessarily have to be poverty in the literal sense. Like it could be feeling unworthy, feeling like maybe struggling in the love department, maybe struggling in the self-care department, or struggling with finances, literally poverty, right? But it could be a mindset too. And right underneath we have the devil, which I didn't see before. So it feels like this is also talking about addictions and codependent relationships and just unhealthy attachments to things, to people, to places, to achievements, even to like expectations of yourself, maybe working yourself too hard, maybe wanting too much and feeling discouraged that you don't have everything that you want. That's human. We all go through that. It's totally normal. But the thing that's happening here is I'm seeing a progression from the 5 of coins to the 6 of coins, meaning there is some progress. There is some ability to change or ability to grow and evolve from the sense of lack towards community, towards friendship, towards assistance, towards love. And this is love. It's not just love in terms of romantic love. It could be any kind of love, but it could also be financial, like having your needs met is the universe kind of showing you love. If you're struggling financially, it's like, okay, you found a job, or you found a community of supportive people, or if you're lonely, you found friendship, or you found a loving partner who it might not be like bells and whistles with the 6 of coins. It's kind of more practical, but you fulfill each other's needs, you take care of each other, you're there for each other. There's an ability to shift from lack towards having your needs met. Seated angel flying, card 14. I just looked it up. I think this was temperance. Let me look it up again. Pretty sure. Yep, temperance. So with temperance, this actually makes a lot of sense. First of all, this is the card of Sagittarius, which actually is not relevant because we're in Gemini season. But it's the card of Sagittarius. It's the card that's ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter is expansive energy. So it takes anything that you focus on and it makes it bigger. It expands it. Your consciousness makes things kind of expanded, right? It's also a planet of luck. And it feels like this is a lucky reading, actually. I didn't even realize that because of the devil and the 5 of coins. I was kind of overwhelmed by the negativity in this little spot. But the thing is, like, there's so much sun, there's so much love. It's a need to focus, right? It's like what you're focusing on can change everything. And sometimes, and this might come off strange, but because we have this poverty card here, and then we have the Six of Coins showing like, no, it's all right, you're gonna shift out of that energy. Sometimes, even just like one thing, if you focus on that one thing, it makes you feel wealthy, right? It's like I have this one friend, and this friend is always there for me, always checking up on me, always making sure that I feel good, or always making plans with me to do something. And if in the past you were focused on no one cares, no one's there, suddenly this one person, and it's not healthy to just like resource all your energy from one person, but I'm just giving an example. Suddenly this one person texting you or showing up at your door with like soup when you're sick, it makes a difference because you're putting your attention on it. And you realize like, wow, I don't really need that many friends. Like I've got one really great friend or two really great friends. And the same thing with work. It's like you suddenly get a client. It's just that one client. If you put your energy on it, it shifts your vibration. And if you start thinking positive, it could be like a domino effect where you're like, oh wow, I just had this amazing experience with a client and they were so, they gave me really great feedback, right? And they were so positive and welcoming and kind. And then you start to kind of gravitate towards those energetic experiences by changing your frequency. But it's subtle, it's slow, because it's changing from 5 to 6. It's not like you might be wanting this, you're wanting the sun. And you can tap into that within and then start to experience it without. But don't like look for it outside of you, because then you get trapped again in these addictive patterns. It's a gentle shift. And it's important to be gentle with yourself at this time. And if you're sowing seeds of intention, if you do that on the new moon, I think it's great to do that, to just sit down with a piece of paper, journal, and write down the things that you want to see happening in your life within 6 months. And see how it shifts you, and come back 6 months later and look at what you wrote and figure out where you were at and what it is you were wishing for. I've been doing that slowly, actually, too. In order to awaken the world to the light, I must not be afraid to shine. Okay. I mean, it's happening from within, right? So it's a slow process. It's not like, it's not fame and fortune. Not for everyone, but it's just kind of focusing your energy within, focusing on the good, counting your blessings, enjoying the people in your life, being grateful for every opportunity and every chance you get, not taking anything for granted. The key to getting what I want is to ask for it. Yeah. But gentle, right? We're talking about being gentle. Because you don't want to come from that poverty place of like grasping for things. Because then it translates as neediness. It translates as desperation. And it's not even the neediness and desperation that matter. It's the fact that you're in a low vibration. You want to be in a high vibration. The real thing you want is a high vibration. You don't really want the car, the house, the great partner, the great life. You want a high vibration. Because even if you have the car, the house, the great partner, the great life, but you're in a low vibration, you're depressed, you're not enjoying anything that you've got. It's kind of like if you've ever done this, where you kind of spring clean, after a season of not wearing certain things or not using certain things in your house, and you're like, you know what, there could be people out there who might need this, and I'm going to go donate it, or I'm going to go sell it, And then what you're actually translating there energetically, it's this kind of idea that it is important where you're putting your energy. And that if you're not using things, if you're not benefiting from things, if you're not experiencing life, you're not going to keep holding on and storing things, because that's kind of creating, I don't know, it's like gunk. It's like blockages. It doesn't let flow in. You want to let flow in. So if there's relationships in your life that you're not benefiting from and the other person's not benefiting from, wish them well. They'll meet people who will benefit them. They will change, they will grow, they will evolve. If there are belongings in your life that you're not using, some things we keep on for sentimental value, I get it, but a lot of things we just kind of keep because, I don't know, we have a culture of materialism, and it translates as a hoarder, right? You just kind of become a person who has belongings because you want to say that you have stuff. Or I don't know. Maybe it's security, maybe it's, right, insecurity, lack of. And we're talking about that here. So how do you shift your energy, change your energy up? And then you see your economy, like your finances change, because you have more energy, you have more space to let things in, and you're inviting new things in. You're like, that didn't work, let me let it go. New things will come in. So this is important for healing. It's important for being authentic, showing up authentically, but also like in a sustainable way. Like when it comes to your emotions, when it comes to your thoughts, when it comes to what you're spending your life, energy, force on. Are you wasting away by giving energy and attention to things that aren't going to grow and that are not satisfying and that don't excite you, they don't turn you on, they don't get you anywhere in life? Let it go. Release it. There's no use to keep this kind of unhealthy pattern in your life if that exists. And I think there was something else, but I can't remember, so I'll let it go. That's that cup that keeps filling. And the more you give, the more you get, because you're in a different vibration now, right? You're not holding on. You're not like, okay, how do I hold on to this? You see how I just was like, okay, there's something I forgot, but I'll let it go. If it's meant to come back to me, it will. Four of Cups. You don't know when you're sitting there bored, depressed, confused, in kind of a state of lackluster or apathy, there are things being presented to you. This traditionally, the Four of Cups, is a man. This is not a traditional tarot deck, but it's a man sitting by a tree, and he's got 3 cups behind him that have been spilt, and he's got this one cup that's kind of presented to him with this huge hand kind of coming from heaven, this hand of God, presenting him with a cup, an opportunity, but he's either not aware or he just doesn't care because he's lost. He's lost in a state of almost like delirium of like, I lost so much. What's the point? What do I have to look forward to? Why should I even try again, right? And this happens. We get jaded when things fall apart, when things don't work out in our lives. We get kind of jaded and we fail to see the miracle that's ever present. And you don't even need to have something presented to you. Just the fact that you wake up in the morning, that's huge. And if you start shifting towards that energy, you'll attract more and more. Like people will gravitate towards the lightness of your being, the carefreeness, the humbleness, the way in which you approach life as a gift, and you are just here, you're just here for it. You're just present. Whatever comes, comes. Whatever goes, goes. I get it. We get like attached, and it's also kind of, it's endearing that we have this quality as humans because it means that we care. And we get attached to people, to things, to places, and it's hard for us to let go and move on. But the only constant is change. And the more you let that become your mantra, and the more you flow, and the more you're kind of just like letting things, not letting things happen to you, that's not what it is, but letting things teach you, letting things be your guide. Yeah. It's a lot. There's a lot to process here. Feeling so small and scared, not wanting to face the world. So when you get to that place where you feel small and scared and you're in this like fetal position, you're just I've been there. You're just like scared, you're overwhelmed, you don't want to deal with things, you've got emails piling up, you've got people texting you, you have appointments you need to show up for, you're delaying, you're procrastinating, or maybe you're on autopilot and you're just doing everything you're supposed to do that's on your to-do list, but you're not actually connected. When you're in that state, you gotta come back. Simple. Breathing, drinking water, connecting with your body, doing something that gets you back into your body, whether it's exercise, whether it's yoga, whether it's like meditation, or being out in nature, or being close to people. Because if you think about it, we are nature. I know it sounds ridiculous, but we are. And when we get close to people who are in their nature, in their flow, in their true state, we kind of tap into that energy. We have an energetic exchange, right? And then you can do this with animals, you can do this with a tree, you can do it with anything. But you just start to tap into an energy of chi, like chi, flowing energy within your body. That force, that life force. Let's keep reading. Feeling so small and scared, not wanting to face the world. Many layers of protection here distancing you from life. Know that you're always held in the love of the divine, perfect as you are. Immersion, number 2. I'll tell you something. Part of this life is that we have our ebbs and flows. We were not designed to always succeed, to always work, to always be in loving relationships, to always show up perfect and do everything in the most amazing way. And part of the beauty of this life is that we are kind of cracked. We are kind of broken. So a lyric from Leonard Cohen that's kind of like been traveling with me for many years now is, ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. What does that mean? It means that you accept your brokenness and you also accept other people's brokenness. You're not looking for someone to prove to you that they are perfect in order to give them your love or your compassion or your understanding or your sympathy or your support. You're not trying to show up as the most perfect version of yourself in this lifetime to prove to yourself and to others that you are worthy of love, or that you're worthy of money, or you're worthy of care. The truth is, we should all be given these basic things, including love, because love is one of those basic necessities that we need to survive. Okay, book time. I wasn't going to do a book with the new moon, but sing and dance together and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone, even as the strings of a lute are alone, though they quiver with the same music. One more. I don't know about that one. The presence of this wonderful gift of the etheric body grants you a silent power as ancient as time. It is a spiritual heritage that flows from your connection to the God force. Okay, that's all we've got for today. I hope you have a good new moon. Hope those rituals help you in some way. And maybe you can come back to your journal entries during the full moon. Should I check it for you? Let's see. I've noticed how annoying the typing sounds. So this will be full moon in Gemini, I believe in 2024 still, right? Gemini. It may be like December or November. December 15th, 2024, 4:02 a.m. You heard it here first. We got a full moon in Gemini. And that's going to be important for you if you're wanting to see how this manifests, how this kind of comes through, even if it's not intentional and you're just kind of feeling your feelings and dumping into a journal, like everything that you're feeling, and then 6 months later you find that journal, you read it, and you're like, wow, those thoughts I had, they percolated in there, and now I'm seeing something. Maybe I'm seeing a bit of light through the darkness. Maybe I'm understanding how my thought process was leading me to where I am today. Everything's connected. We get more aware, and once that awareness starts to shift, we can ask for better, we can get better, we can make better, right? We can make better decisions. Happy new moon.